Is going on, my petrol power dudes? You are joining me once again with my 2014 Porsche Carrera S. I absolutely love this car, and I'm really happy that I didn't sell it. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about my ownership experience, go over things with you like the issues I've been having. This car is under warranty and it's under CPO, so those issues have been resolved. But I have a clean 2014 Porsche Carrera S, and this is going to be an ownership experience video. We're going to be taking it on regular public roads now, and I'll talk to you about it. You know, what my experience has been thus far on owning this car. It's just as gorgeous as it was the first day I picked it up. I have done a few modifications to the car, and I've talked extensively about this in my previous videos. So if you haven't watched the previous videos with this 911 Carrera S, make sure you go check those out. And if you want to be notified when I'm going to have more content with my 911, make sure you click on that subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit that thumbs up as well. All right, guys, let's get on the road and talk a little bit more about this car. Oh man, as soon as you turn on the car, it feels good. It's not super loud because for the time being, we're not going to go on sport mode. I'm not going to put on the exhaust, and we're just going to drive normally as if you were to drive the car on a day-to-day basis. So in case you're wondering where we are at the current moment, I live in San Diego, and this is Solana Beach. It's one of my favorite places. If you've watched any of my videos, I usually come here and do my moto vlogs, and it's a whole lot of fun for me. And then I love the reactions from you guys whenever I go and read the comments. You guys make some really cool comments, and just makes everything so engaging in the end for me. So keep them coming. Keep the comments coming. And let me know if you guys like the POV view. This is the first time. Actually, no, it's not the first time I'm doing POV. I've done this before. So I got my first 911 back in 2010. This was a GT3. I fell in love with the GT3, and ever since then I always wanted to buy myself another one. And I rode many different types of cars at that time. I've driven the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, and everything in between. And one car that has stuck with me, it has been the Porsche 911. It gives me a feeling that I haven't had with any other car. It's one of those brands that kind of sucks you in. It's very addictive. Once you're in, you're always going to be in for life. Even without the sport exhaust, this thing sounds wonderful. I haven't even turned it on yet, but as you can tell, it sounds pretty fantastic. So like I was mentioning, I rode many different cars one day. This was one of those type of excursions where you get to ride the exotic cars as well as some of the other cars, such as the Porsches. And I rode a Porsche 911 GT3. I love the way it tracked. I love the way the car sounded. And I just fell in love with the overall characteristics as well as the sound. Out of every car that I drove that day, my favorite one was the Porsche 911 GT3. And so I promised myself that once my business does well, I'm going to buy myself another one. Business has been up and down, so I play with the hobby as much as my wallet will allow me to. So in 2010, I decided to buy my GT3 because at that time I could afford it. And sometime around 2012, I sold the car because I had a business downturn. But once again, I promised myself that I would buy another one. In 2017, I went searching high and low for my next Porsche. And at Porsche of San Diego, I found this particular vehicle. I test drove a whole bunch, and this was the right price for me because I didn't want to buy something that was way out of budget. At that time, the car had, I believe, 72,000 miles. And currently, at the moment, it has 84,747. So I've driven it a good 10-12,000 miles since I've owned it, and it's been about a year. So yeah, it's been a whole lot of places with me. I've taken it ever since I moved to California in 2017. I've driven this car all around California. I went on my first big road trip. I think I did about 1,500 to 2,000 miles round trip all around California. I went all the way down to the desert. I went all the way up towards the national parks, Death Valley. This car saw a lot of different places, and I enjoyed myself immensely with it. So I'm not one of those people that has a car and keeps it inside the garage and never gets to take it out and babies it the entire time, and it's basically a weekend toy. If you've been watching my videos, if you know anything about me, I love speed, I love excitement, I love horsepower, I love sound. Not in any particular order, but all those things combined makes a car that's absolutely wonderful, and it's a whole lot of fun to drive and ride. Before I got into motorcycles, cars were something that I was always passionate about. I had a starting out, it was Mustangs for me, but later on I graduated into Porsches. But ever since then, I've always loved cars. Motorcycles are completely new to me, and if you've been watching my channel up to now, you've seen a ton of motorcycle content, but I really hope to be making more car content with this Porsche, of course with other things as well. I got some aspirations for the channel, similar to what I've been doing with the motorcycles. I want to go into dealerships and test drive their cars and make videos for you guys. So that's something in the future. We'll see how that goes. In 2014, when they first came out with the 991 generation Porsches, there was a lot of panic between Porsche owners because they took away the hydraulic steering. The steering that is in this car is an electronic steering. A lot of people say that it takes away from the feeling, but after you drive it for a while, you don't really notice that much of a difference, and it doesn't really bother you as much. My previous generation GT3 was a 997 model. It was a little bit different, and it did feel a little bit different. Driving this car, I don't feel like the feelings are not there anymore as they used to be with my previous generation 997 model. The 997 GT3 that I had was a 0.1 generation, in case you're interested to find out. I did a whole bunch of track days with that car. But anyways, this car is lacking nothing. It's got 400 horsepower. I'm not sure exactly what it does to the wheel, but whenever you don't have sport on, it's perfect for the road. But I love everything about it. When I get inside this car and when I put my seatbelt on and I twist the key and the engine fires up, I get a rush of emotions. It makes me feel like I'm in something that's high quality. It makes me feel like I'm in something that has a lot of pedigree and a lot of history. And that's exactly what you get with something like a Porsche. And this is the reason why there's such a thing called a Porsche-phile, because once you own one Porsche, it is almost guaranteed that you will own many more from that point going forward. So the same thing has happened to me. I've owned my GT3, and after that, I've owned this 911 Carrera 2S. And it's something that I don't think I could ever stop doing. After I get rid of this car, the next car that I'm probably going to get is a 911 GT3. But this time I want the 991 model with the manual transmission. But who knows when that's going to be. But for now, I'm absolutely loving this car. A few months back, transmission completely died on me. First and second gear, they kept getting stuck into gear and it wouldn't go through. So I had the transmission replaced under CPO. And while I did the transmission, I also put in a brand new clutch and flywheel. Other small little things here and there, such as putting up the frunk. Some parts had to be replaced. The windshield washer fluid wasn't coming out and it was broken towards the side. The tube was broken, so that had to be replaced. I plan to make an entire video about how much it costs for me to own this vehicle and the amount of time that I've had it. So I'm gonna have a comprehensive list of all the things that have gone bad in this car and that have been replaced under warranty. So this is just a small little list of what's malfunctioned and what's gone bad with this car, but there's going to be a lot more, so stay tuned for that video. I use the car for mainly everything. I use the car to go grocery shopping, and I'll go to the beach with it. I'll park it by the beach, and I'll sit with my laptop and I'll do some work inside of it. So it's an office, it's a grocery getter, it's a fun track toy, and that's what I love about Porsche, and that's what I love about the Carreras in general, because the Carrera model is something that can be used on a day-to-day basis. And whenever you want to take it on the twisty roads, whenever you want to take it to the track, it has the sport button, which firms up the throttle, makes it a little bit sharper.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, we have reached the twisty road section. Let's just hope there's going to be no traffic, but we're going to turn on sport mode. That turns on the exhaust. And for good measure, we're going to turn on sport chassis. Now, I haven't played with this car in a twisty road in a very, very long time, because the car needs new tires, but we're gonna have a little bit of fun, not too much. Oh yes, it woke her right up. Woo! Woo! Man, this car sounds good. Car is so stable. I can't wait to get new tires. Oh yes. Woo! Oh man, I love the little pops and crackles. Woo! Oh yes. Why has it been so long I haven't come here? Oh my God. The steering is so direct. The sound gives you these emotions that makes you want to go faster and faster. Oh man, the little pops and crackles from the exhaust, all that combined, it gives you this rush. Oh. And the steering, oh, beautiful. Look at this thing. I'm doing 42 miles an hour, and this thing has no body roll at all. Woo! I really need to get a new set of tires and start doing this from now on, because I really miss going on twisty roads. I really miss going to track day events. So if you like this kind of content, please make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel for more. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that. This has been a little ownership experience for you guys. There's a lot more videos to come and a lot more content to come with this car. And thank you so much for giving this video a like and also subscribing to the channel. A lot more where this came from. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.